I was really shocked yesterday when the Lions made the announcement they were hiring Drew Petzing, the OC from the Arizona Cardinals. Here's what we do know about Petzing. They didn't have a good year in Arizona this year. Kyler Murray died. Marvin Harrison Jr. had footballs bouncing off his skull.
Connor got hurt. And
James Conner dead for 14 games.
And
The
his
backup
backup.
Trey Benson dead for multiple games. DeMercado dead. Zonovan Knight dead. They basically had Stoney's friend Lenny, who he killed on the golf course, as their running back. I choose to look at 23 and 24. He had a top 10 run game both years. Do I know that this is going to work? No. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I wasn't surprised. But then when you look and you know that he had coached with Ben Johnson, he was in Ben Johnson's wedding as a groomsman. He has Ben Johnson ideas, meaning heavy run game, heavy play action, loves multiple tight end usage. They rank 26th in the NFL in 11 personnel, meaning one tight end, one back. 7th in 12 personnel, using two tights. First in the NFL with this new wave, Sean McVay, Rams, 3 tight end, 13 personnel. Couple of things is if he's going to come here and that's what he's going to bring to the table,
Right.
well, A, you're going to need some tight end. And B, the Tesla thing looks stupid.
Over his 3 years, yards per game, they averaged rushing 125 and a half. That's 9th overall. Yards per rush, 4.9. That's 2nd overall in the league. Explosive rush rate, 10.2%. 2nd overall in the league. Offensive rushing success, 40.9%. 7th overall.
I don't care about the stability as an offensive coordinator. I want this dude to kick ass and then go get a head coaching job. Because that means our offense is really good. If I didn't realize that the criteria for the new coordinator was going to be, I want stability. I want him here as an offensive coordinator for a long time. Why'd you promote Kelvin Shepard? You promoted Kelvin Shepard because you thought he was going to be the best guy for the job. He might go to Miami. He might go to LSU. Remember? Those were the. That means somebody liked what he did. That means he probably did a pretty good job at something. Oh my gosh. So now you're going to hire a guy maybe who isn't going to be that successful because he wants to stay as a DC? Don't you want to hire people who want to elevate to something more? You hire people at this network all the time. You're not hiring Cam if he just wants to sit behind that glass.
No,
you're not hiring Kool-Aid if that's all he wants to do. You want them to aspire to be something good, something better, something great. I just used Ben Johnson. Damn it, that's what I'm hoping for. Instead, Dan Campbell's telling us via sources, I want somebody who's going to be here a while. Bullshit. I want a guy who's going to be here, be successful right away, and then other teams come sniffing around and going, you know what? That dude's really good. We didn't see him as a possible head coaching candidate.
Hey, look, get plucked, and you know what? I hope your Super Bowl ring doesn't go off at TSA onto your next.
Amen.
job.
That means I got to go
get that.
interview some other guys.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I
That
get that
means
one.
I have nurtured this guy along, done the right thing, and he's kicked ass.
Yeah.
Drew Petzing to the Detroit Lions has gotten a ton of crap, and I really hate it because the dude is pretty solid. He's actually a wizard when it comes to run offensive orchestration. I don't know if anyone's ever used that wording before, but he is an uber efficient runner. You know, this past season, James Conner missed 14 games, something like that. Trey Benson missed like 13 games. The backup of the backup, Zonovan Knight, he missed like 6 games as well. Their offensive line, basically the Arizona Cardinals were the most injured team in all of football this past year, and most of it came on the offensive line and the running back room. And people hate Drew Petzing over in Arizona because they have not been a good football team for a couple of seasons, and Kyler Murray just always looks not how he used to. But here's the thing. Petzing's going to come to Detroit. He's going to fix this run game because Detroit should be the best running team in the NFL. They, at worst, should be a top 5 running team. He's going to come in here, get that back on track. They're going to fix the offensive line as far as, you know, maybe Taylor Decker on the left side. The 2 rookies are Christian Mahogany, first-year starter. He gets offseason under his belt. First year as a starter. Tate Ratledge, the rookie, he gets another offseason under his belt. First year in the NFL. So the run game is going to be smooth. The offensive line is going to be smooth. The play-action pass is going to be back. And defensively, I mean, Drew Petzing is offensive coordinator, but just line talk in general, that defense just really needs to stay healthy. I think the worst is out of the way for the Detroit Lions franchise.
Biggest winner from the Lions hiring Drew Petzing is Sam Laporta and Brock Wright. I mean, Trey McBride's coming off a season of 126 receptions, which was second in the NFL, not just amongst tight ends. It was a tight end record, but second amongst everybody. Trey McBride was a big red zone threat for them. He runs a ton of 12 and 13 personnel. He wants to get these guys involved. As long as Sam Laporta and Brock Wright are healthy, I think both these guys are going to get a ton of run next season. Biggest losers I have two. Dan Skipper, I don't think he's still going to be around, but even if he is, sounds like instead of Jumbo, they'd rather just have an extra tight end on the field for the pass catching threat. And then since they use so much 13 and 12 personnel, I would say Isaac Tesla has to be a loser too, which is just making that whole draft pick and that player even more confusing than it already is. And what I mean by that is during the draft, it felt like they gave up way too much to get him. First half of the season, they barely used him. By the time the season ends, he has 6 touchdowns. The problem is he's never open, or he's always open because he catches everything that's thrown to him. Either way, I think he's a loser with Drew Petzing coming in.
Oh my God. My Lions, my Detroit Lions hired Drew Petzing as their new offensive coordinator. He is the former offensive coordinator for the Cardinals. I saw this and I just scratched my head. I said, why? I had to look up his history. He's a tenured offensive coordinator. He's very, very skilled at play calling. Been doing it a long time. I think Dan Campbell wants someone who isn't going to be jumping ship anytime soon. This is definitely that pick. But then I dove a little bit deeper. And I found out that this man, Drew, was Ben Johnson's groomsman at his wedding. Dan Campbell, leave Ben Johnson alone. It's like an ex-girlfriend and she left you. Now you want to date one of her friends. Leave all these hoes alone, Dan Campbell. Go to a new club, a new environment, find you some new bitches, all right?
And this is how you get accidents. I be telling you, man, ain't nothing more dangerous than a Suburbaner in a fucking pickup truck. They think they can't slide out. They think they can't crash. And when they do, they be on the side of the road, fucking up the traffic, fucking up their lives, looking dumb. I'm telling you, man. I'm scared of these old men in pickup trucks, especially the ones that speed. I'm scared of them. Because they think, oh, my Dodge Ram or my F-150, it can't spin out on ice. Yeah, anything can spin out on ice. And when they spin out and when they crash out and fuck some, I feel like they should, and it's proven that they should speed, they should be put up for a felony, bro. I feel like it should be a mandatory 5 years in prison for idiots like that. But, you know, a lot of Detroit Lions fans got an issue with Drew Petzing. I got people in my comment, oh, this is a bad hire. My thing is this. You know, Mike McDaniels got passed up by Tampa, passed up by Philly, ended up in the Los Angeles Chargers. You know what I'm saying? He got passed up by multiple teams. You know what I'm saying? He withdrew his name for the Cleveland job and went out to the LA Chargers. You all right? The head coach's job in Cleveland went to LA. So the crazy thing about it is, these people, oh, you just saying that, and you know, you'll do a video. And one thing I hate about YouTube, and I feel like it's a feature that they should change. You shouldn't comment unless you listen to 2 minutes of the video. I don't think you should be able to produce a comment on YouTube unless you listen for 2 full minutes. If you don't listen for 2 full minutes, I feel like you shouldn't be able to leave a comment. Because there's so many people that don't listen to the videos, and they're like, damn, y'all can't even listen. Y'all can't even listen. The attention spans are so short in America, they can't even listen to a video. I did a video on Campbell and Ben Johnson. People went off the title, and the title had a question mark, and nowhere did I say they should have fired Dan and kept Ben Johnson. I didn't say that. But people read the, oh man, I agree or I disagree with you. That people just like dog, when you know it's bad when people can't sit and listen. But then, you know, like I said, I did that video, you know, back in 2019, it was proven that 45% of Detroiters can't read. And I believe it, bro. I believe half the population in America is legit illiterate. It's not a lot of, I think it's a lot of people around here who's legitimately medically retarded, bro. I know some chicks I went to school with, bro. I'm like, y'all a mother? Like you was a straight up dingleberry head. You didn't even know how to write your name. It's a lot. Even in my time, it was a lot of people that just wasn't smart. They didn't have average IQ. That was below average. But people, oh, hey, Drew Petzing, and like you didn't do nothing. And then they look up no statistics. And the more information I gather, it's everything I said that the Lions needed. But people just go off the name. Guess what? Brad Holmes wasn't a hot name, but he turned the Lions around. Dan Campbell wasn't a hot name, but he turned the Detroit Lions around. And I'll give Troy Weaver credit. Troy Weaver wasn't a hot name. He wasn't a big name. He wasn't a Sam Presti or Phil Jackson. He wasn't a legendary. What was the dude name from Space Jam? Jerry Krause. He wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Troy Weaver, he laid the foundation for the Pistons beat. He wasn't a big name. Terajan Landy came in there and he finished it off. No, did he? He wasn't a big name. So at the end of the day, big names are just big names sometimes. And if those names are big, you got to ask yourself, why are they not employed? Masai Ujiri was a no name at some point. He had to start somewhere. Hell of a GM. So when I kind of look at people kind of just go off names, and that's how people shop. When you start looking at cars, and I had a homie that bought a Subaru, I'm like, dude, if you maintenance that Subaru the right way, you can get 1 million miles out of that Subaru. When you start, if y'all don't know, Lexus is Toyota, luxury export United States. It's the luxury brand for Toyota. Toyota, Lexus, Subaru, Honda. But them Toyotas, I believe them Subarus for sure, and I think Hondas, a lot of times they say they life shelf of their cars don't even really start to 400 to 500,000 miles with proper maintenance. They say you damn near can get 1 million miles out of some of those Subarus and them Toyota Lexuses and some of those Hondas. But what people see, I want the Hemi, I got the Hellcat, and those are some of the least durable cars. A lot of the average American cars, you probably get between 150 and 200,000 miles at best. And that's with proper maintenance. That's their lifespan. Now, is there some American cars like a town and country where you can get 400,000, yeah. Some F-150s, some S10s back in the F4 S10, yeah. But my point is this, a lot of people just want to go off the brand and don't want to go off the quality. Well, Arizona, he didn't do this, but when you look at what he did in Arizona, when he had James Conner, James Conner wasn't 1,000-yard back until he got to him. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a bean. Arizona had one of the top rush attacks. They scored some of the most points in the league. Look what he did with Jacoby Brissett. They're going with a philosophical pick. Mike McDaniels wasn't tough enough to be here. He was too finesse. What was the issue with John Morton? Too finesse. Even when Dan Campbell called plays, in my opinion, he was too finesse. They marked some boxes here. They got a proven play caller. They got a proven play caller. B, they got a guy who believes in running the football. They got a guy who believes in running the football. You know what I'm saying? He believes in 2 tight ends. He believes in heavy sets. They got a guy who, with the same type of quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, pocket quarterback, middleman mobility, they had a lot of success even without having the threat of a run game. Now he has a run game like he had with James Conner. He got the quarterback that can toss it around, and he got the receiver. So at the end of the day, what he did in Arizona, I believe he did a great job. They didn't have the best offensive line. And they had a bunch of injuries, and they had a quarterback that, had some questions about, his commitment to the game. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.